You know, I'm taking my shirt off like that, and as I've got to about there, he's come for me and started, like, digging me in the stomach.
The only one that saved Matt Le Tissier's penalty, wasn't it?
Yeah, that end is now called Crossley Place. It's at my house tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, and it would help if you bring your gloves as well. Playing as a ringer in his son's Sunday league team, they got fined 50 quid, and Cloughy took the 50 quid out of my way. He walks over to the bag and he pulls out an iron and he said, if you don't mend it, you ain't playing Saturday. So I look over and he stood like that.
Mark, in we come. Mark Crossley.
Mark Crossley, everyone. That's it for the big man.
Hey, Crosser.
Hi, guys.
Welcome, Mark.
Good to see you.
Nice to see you, Mark. Look at you.
And yous?
Good, yeah.
You look-
Mark,
oh, look at
You were just on about nicknames before there. Obviously, I do the dinner circuit a little bit now. And when COVID came, and obviously we struggled on the entertainment side, my first gig was in Nottingham when we got back on the circuit. And it was full of Forest fans. And I turned up at the gig, and having played 12 years for them and 393 games, when I turned up, you would have thought they might have had a clue who I actually was when I turned up.
So, yeah.
So I goes in, a fella puts his hand out, shakes my hand. He goes, I can't believe it. And I said, believe what? He said, I can't believe that we've got the fella who sits in the caravan with the old woman on Gogglebox speaking at the dinner here tonight. Yeah? No? I don't know.
I can see a bit of a resemblance.
Just from the side.
They're brilliant, aren't they? They're so good.
You do look like him, Mark.
Mel Gibson, Lee off Gogglebox.
Oh, that is funny.
Talk to us about Forest.
I think they've become an established Premier League team. We're looking at them this season now, which was the aim. And 2 seasons where it looked like they were definitely getting relegated.
Yeah.
Surviving late on, beating Arsenal 1-0 was a massive
game.
To stay up the first year. So I just think, but the owner is put his money where his mouth is, and he's signed players.
He's not bothered what anyone says.
Yeah, so you can't knock that, really.
Yeah, people were ridiculed in Forest, weren't they?
They have been incredible, though. People had them down for, like, relegation to see where they are now, like...
That was Carragher, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Did he? Did he have him down for relegation?
Yeah, he did.
Yeah.
We're never going to get relegated.
Yeah, but what he's done is, like, amazing, isn't it? I don't think we predicted them to be where they are now.
They're playing some really good counter-attacking football, and they've got a bit of pace, and they've got a talented player called Morgan Gibbs-White playing in midfield. And what I love about him is, like, I see him come off the pitch, and he's shattered every single game.
Yeah,
I love to see that.
Yeah.
So he's got a bit of pace that way.
Chris Wood.
Chris Wood, it's
I've never seen him having the season he's having.
Nah.
I think he started at the end of last season and he scored quite a few goals, and then never seen him.
It's nice to see the old-fashioned type of centre forwards, isn't it?
Yeah.
Can you imagine how happy he is, though? You see him cross, Mark, and you see him with that pace around him, Morgan Gibbs in front. All he's got to do is focus on finishing, and it's just, you could see that he's just like, he's got it.
And I noticed this year, like, they're putting the ball in the box a little bit. I know it's an old cliche, but you don't put the ball in the box, and somebody like Chris Wood, he's thriving off that, you know. And I don't know, is it a case as a striker that once one's going in, two is going in, three, everything
Just
you hit seems to be going in.
Builds,
and,
like, you just keep getting more and more confidence.
And when you're not scoring, you're thinking, where's the next one coming from? Well, at the moment, everything he's hitting is going in, so fair play to him.
Fingers crossed for him.
You played with both these two?
Yes.
What was that?
Tell us some stories.
Who's the best teammate? Who's your favourite out of these two?
I was only there for a month when I was over 6 weeks.
That's enough to get a picture of someone.
Yeah.
We were on the slippery slope when Wrighty comes, so that. But Platty won it, David Platt.
Yes, Platty brought me in. I remember I came in from training on the pitch one time. What's it that you put on my peg, Mark Crossley?
2 pheasants.
2 pheasants, man. So, you know, you walk in and you just come in and you go like that, and I went, wow! 2 pheasants. I said, what's this?
You mean birds?
Yeah.
Pheasants?
Yeah.
Real ones?
We had a player called Andy Johnson. He used to shoot the pheasants in his back garden, and he brought a brace in for me because I like pheasant. I like, you know. And, I thought it'd be a good idea. Right, he used to wear this long black leather coat. And he hung it up, so I thought, when we get back from training, them pheasants going to be under that black leather coat.
When he said he liked the birds, he didn't.
That was a good time.
And Roy?
Yeah. Well, Roy was 18 when and I just remember, like, just when he turned up, and even the first day, you see that there's a special player like there, you know. You see it instantly, don't you? I mean, And the rest is history, innit? You know, we had some great times. It was a little bit different back then. And
the best.
But as I say, you know, under Clough, I would probably say that's probably the best learning curve you could ever have.
It was
the best education you could ever have.
Why would that be? Just, I mean, obviously we've heard a lot of Brian.
Just the way, I don't know, people always say we're scared of him and all that, and I don't think it was a case of that. I think we was in awe of him. He had a massive presence. He could just walk in a room and he didn't have to say anything. He taught, for me, when I look back, because I had 6 years with him, it was a kind of like, he didn't only try and teach me about what I'm meant to do on a football pitch, because I was a little bit of a rogue and that when I was a kid, but he taught me little things about a proper handshake, about eye contact, about not speaking to people with your hands in your pockets, and all the little things that go with it. Right. And at our football club, like, the most important person was the lady that does your kit. You know, the kit man that puts your kit out, the guy that goes and makes you a cup of tea at half-time or whatever. They were the most important people at the football club, not the players. And when I look back, I think that's how we
kept it together like that.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
He kept it simple, Norm, didn't he? Everything was simple, the messages to all of us, wasn't it? Never complicated the game, did he?
No.
I know you've heard that many times before, but...
I remember him once saying, like, what's your job? Goalkeeper, what's your job? And you start coming on with these things and, no, just stop the ball from going in the goal. Full-back, stop crosses, play forward when you win it back, preferably to a red shirt, like, you know, but centre-backs, head it and kick it. And I know that's old school, but if you didn't do them simple things that he wanted you to do, he didn't keep you.
Yeah, but it's still prevalent.
Centre forward, get hold of the ball, keep it.
Yeah.
Get it out wide, get in the box, score me a diving header. Get cut while you're doing it. It looks better in the newspaper on a Sunday morning, you know, and just little...
He was tough as well, wasn't he? He was tough.
Oh, it was tough. Yeah. Really tough.
He was a great striker himself, wasn't he? Middlesbrough.
Yeah.
Were there any tactics at all? Any sort of shape during the week that you'd work on, or...?
No.
Never.
That's brilliant.
Five-a-side.
Just played.
So what was training? So let's pretend you've played on a Saturday and you've got a game the following Saturday. What would your week look like from Sunday onwards?
Sometimes see you Thursday.
Wow.
Really?
From Saturday?
Yeah.
Now I know when before you were talking about training hard, to be fair, it's quite, you only did 1 day a week.
His arse off on a
But the work he put in is the work he put in.
You wouldn't see him till Thursday, Friday anyway, but as soon as he appeared, training obviously went up a level, but like even goalkeepers, we never had a goalkeeping coach. Like,
So who's doing that then? What were you doing?
we were doing it between ourselves, but we'd play five-a-side and we'd play out. Yeah.
Jeez.
Wow.
4-4-2, it never changed. And
But it was a good environment, wasn't it?
Brilliant environment,
Good environment for players. Like you'd Piercy and Nigel and Des. You'd all good players.
Yeah,
remember?
good players,
But
yeah.
live in the sessions.
Yeah, what does team talk be then before a game in terms of sort of how to motivate you or how to sort of...
well, you remember he used to have the cricket ball?
Yeah.
So he'd come in, like 8 minutes to kick off, say. And he likes you to sit down still with a towel over your knees. Focus on the job.
Have you got clothes on?
Any particular reason?
We've got
The
clothes,
towel?
yeah. He'd just like you to, I don't know, keep warm, focus on the game, and then he'd pull out his cricket ball and he'd throw it, catch it, throw it back. Next one, catch it, throw it back, catch it, and then he'd take his flat cap off and he'd try and throw it on the peg. We used to have a ball in the middle of the dressing room on a towel. And he'd go, "That's what we're playing with, keep it on the floor." That was it. That's it.
That's it?
Go and enjoy it, play with a smile on your face. That's it. Never did never ever once mention the opposition. Never.
Ever?
Never,
Set
ever.
pieces and nothing?
Nothing.
Wow.
No set plays.
Wow.
Because he believed so much in you guys.
It's off
I
the cuff.
And he
suppose.
could pick players. He obviously knew a good player.
Yeah, yeah.
Off the cuff.
Recruitment was fantastic.
Wow.
That was a tough
You
team.
know, he definitely made sure you wouldn't be overthinking the game, would he?
Yeah.
You never
sound like it.
No, you'd never go in the pitch thinking, listen, you would know your job. That's a really important part of management. And it would be all them simple things like look after the ball, striker get hold of it. For me, just make some runs and.
Well, what about the
process.
opposing team with the runners that's coming through and what they... nothing.
Yeah, but subconsciously you'd be aware of who you're playing. But you wouldn't need the manager telling you that. You know who you're up against. But you'd be doing that by just watching games yourself and picking up on stuff.
What were these non-negotiables?
say,
Go on,
no, I was
Julie,
just about to say, like, if you're playing in midfield and they go, they've got midfielders that are going to run, you know it anyway, do you know what I mean?
would do, yeah.
It's
Well, you
not
should.
like,
Yeah, you
exactly,
should.
that's what I mean, you just play the game in front of you, don't you?
What were his non-negotiables in terms of, like, what would he just not accept? What would he lose his rag at, lose his temper at?
Being late.
Yeah, huge one for him, yeah.
I remember going into training once and I wasn't clean shaven. I mean, he didn't mind a beard as long as it was neat. But if you were looking, you know,
Scruffy.
yeah, he'd go. I remember once sent me home. See you tomorrow.
Oh, because you had a beard?
Because I was looking a bit scruffy and that, like.
You were loving your days off now, mind you. Did you do a full week?
Sticking my hair up with gel all over it.
How had you dealt with this little thing?
I know the goatee.
He wouldn't have noticed that.
No, that was after him. After I had a goatee like as well and long curly hair. I remember his first words to me ever was there wasn't an academy then. It was 2-year apprenticeship.
Yeah.
YTS.
Yeah.
But the lead up to that was called a Colts team.
The Colts.
The Colts. So that was like the feeder group then. And you'd go and play against local football teams, men. So we were like 15, 16 coming through the Colts. We were playing in a local league that was men. And again, that was your great education, playing against men at that age. And he used to come and watch. The first team were at home in the afternoon. He'd come and watch the Colts to see. I remember like doing well in one game and he waited for me after. And I had long curly hair. He said, son. So I goes over to him. I said, yes. He said, no, it's boss. I said, yes, boss. He said, if you want to play football for me, I suggest that you get your hair cut. So what do you do the next day? You go and get your hair cut.
Yeah.
Because I want to play football for him.
This episode of Stick to Football is brought to you by Sky Bet.
My favourite story is when he made me sign a blank contract, like which.
A what?
A blank contract.
Blank.
Yeah. Yeah.
What was blank?
The contract.
The words.
The numbers.
No, because remember, it used to be like a blue A4 piece of paper, like. So it was amazing how I got this contract. So
You were in the first team at this stage? No, yeah.
I'd played in the first team, so I'd done my YTS, and your first year's pro was a non-negotiable £100 a week contract. The letter came to your digs. Right, so you take it or leave it. There's no agents, there were not even any mobiles then. So I was one of the lucky ones, I got the £100 a week contract. Then the following year I made my debut at 19. And he honoured it, and he'd rip that up then, and then he'd give you what you thought you was worth. Now, because he was this psychologist within himself, probably without knowing it half the time, my first contract was, I was injured at the time, it was 8:30 in the morning, I got a dead leg, you're getting assessed, he wants to know his numbers by 9 o'clock. So I've gone in anyway, as I go in, like the bath's running, I can hear like a bath, because we had little baths, and a big bath then, and showers. And the bath's running, and you know, the taps are still running. Right. So I pops my head in the bathroom, and he's in the bath. The gaffer's in the bath.
8:30 in the morning?
Yeah, he's having a bath. I said...
Why is that the bit that blows your mind?
Come on, I want to hear the story. Shh.
I said, are you all right, boss? Get me a towel, son. So I go and get my towel, I come back, and he's gone. But his footprints are going out the dressing room, down the corridor. We've got a sauna halfway down. He's in the sauna. So I knock on the door, give him the towel. When's your contract up?
Such a great accent.
I said, end of the season. Would you like a new one? So I said, well, I'd love one. Come and meet, I'll not say what he called me, but he said, come and see me Monday morning and I'll give you a new contract. So I go and see him Monday morning, and yet to get to see him, you had to go through Carol. She said, well, he hasn't said anything to me, but he's in. I'll ring his office, go down, just down the corridor, knock on the door, walk in. He stood there, rugby shirt, green sweater, blue tracky bottoms, pair of wellies on, squash racket in his hand. I said, hello, morning, boss. He goes, what can I do for you? So I said, you've told me to come and see you about signing a new contract. Don't remember that one, son. I goes, well, you did. He goes, have a seat. So I sit down, and he opens the drawer. and he puts the contract on the table, and he said, "Sign that." I goes, "I can't sign that." "Why can't you sign it?" I said, "It's blank." "I'll fill it in, son." and so he asked me to leave the office. So I'm literally in the corridor, and he's closed the door. So I close the door. I'm in the corridor, and like I say, you're not with an agent or a mobile. And I'm literally just walking up and down the corridor. He's going, 4 minutes. I gave you 5 to sign it, but I'm going to give you 4 now. Oh, you're off to Barnsley, where you from? They'd love you in goal for them, son. So I'm thinking, what am I going to do? It's bullying, really, isn't it? So I thought, I'm going to have to go and sign it, aren't I? So I goes in, and I signed the contract, and I'd been after a car as well. And to have a car, when you were young, you had to ask him. Because if he said no, you couldn't have a car. And his answer to me was, "I think you're a bit of an idiot. And while ever there's an idiot on the road, you're not having a car, so because I'm still driving on the road." And I asked him for months and months and months. Anyway, so I signed this blank contract. It'll be ready in the morning. So I go and pick it up Monday morning. Carol hands me some car keys. I said, "What's this?" She said, "You wanted a car, didn't you?" I said, "Yeah." So he's got your car. "What is it?" She said, "I don't know." I said, "Where is it?" She said, "It's in the car park." I said, "Carol, there's 100 cars in that car." The point of this car, anyway, it's a white XR3i with a black
Wow.
door.
Wow.
Yeah, and straight away I'm thinking, oh, no one in Barnsley's got one of them black doors. So I point at the car's flash, and then the flashes, and so I've got that car, go back in. I said to Carol, "Oh, thank the gaffer." She said, "Here's your contract." I look at the contract. Year 1, £500 a week. Year 2, £500 a week. Year 3, £500 a week. Year 4, £500 a week. In the little bonus section, Elizabeth's car. So I go, "Who's Elizabeth?" She said, "His daughter." She bought that car, she didn't like it, so he's give it you. That's not the worst. So I get the wage slip at the end of the month, and there's in the column underneath the wages, deduction, Elizabeth's car. £135. So all I did was take over the monthly payments of the car anyway. But that was just him. You know, signing that blank contract, even when I had bad times, I could never do wrong anymore. Yeah. Because I've signed a blank contract, trusted him, and he's trusted me to sign it, and that's the bond straight away.
That was probably the car contract.
Yeah.
You know, sorry, that's such a good story. That is.
Was that
amazing? And that
was
just
a fair contract? Was that fair?
Was you happy with that?
Were you happy with 500?
Yeah, because you know, as players, you have a little chat with the people who are same age, so Stoney and Scotty Gemmell and all. They were all on £500 a week. Yeah. So they all played in the first team. That was the standard. That was it.
That was exactly the same with us at United. He gave us all the same contract. He gave us £4,000 signing-on fee, £210 a week year 1, £230 a week year 2, £250, £270. All got a Honda Prelude. We all got the same contract. I think 8 of us. Similar
that carried on throughout your career, didn't it?
Pardon?
Carried on throughout your career, didn't it?
But all your stories, you've warmed towards them, have you? Like
I loved it.
You've no nastiness towards them, have you?
No.
Like a lot of players could look at that and go, "Hey, it was bullying, or it was out of order," but you
no,
have a lot of love
because
for it, don't you? Yeah.
I just he changed my life. So he gave me my debut at 19 against Liverpool. So I always look back as though that man changed my life. So I don't know any players or ex-players. What I do find fascinating is the amount of ex-players that want to know what he was like. And he'll never go away. He's never going away. So...
And that's the next part of your career. Now, you do the after dinner. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
But I talk about him with, passion and
love.
Love, man.
And love, yeah, because he was such a... I don't know whether he knew what he was doing half the time, but he just,
But it was tough when you don't know. Was he tough? I know you were saying he gave you a couple of days off after the Blackburn game, but there must have been games where you went, "Hey."
Yeah.
He was tough.
It was tough, yeah, tough.
Yeah, what was he like after a defeat?
He played mind games sometimes. If you got beaten, he's going to go after you, and then he'd go the other way and go have a few days off. And then if you'd won a few, you'd go, hey, listen, a couple of days off. And he'd be, no, you're all in tomorrow. So he'd definitely be playing mind games.
I know I really looked after you going back to see your family in Ireland.
Always. But also tough with me then.
Yeah,
as well, obviously, the incident with me, you with the Crystal Palace goal where he punched me after the game. So he'd be like, he'd give me days off and he'd be brilliant with my family. Yeah, it was not.
That was my fault.
Yeah. What happened?
It was my fault. It was a back pass. He left it a little bit short. You was actually charging me down.
Was it me?
Yeah.
Was it?
I think it was, you know.
Wouldn't have been a good thing.
No, but you were good with your feet. You were kind of
Yeah, good left foot, great left foot.
And I'm looking and honestly, it was like slow motion. You know about not upsetting a manager because we all love Brian Clough. He gave us a chance like Norm did for me. And I remember John Salako gets it. And I'm looking at Norm running back. John Salako. What would he be? 45 yards out, right?
Easily. At the City Ground, wasn't it?
Norm, get back.
No, he didn't get in there.
He's fucking not getting there. I swear. And as soon as I hit the net.
But how does it go? How's that end up being a punch?
Because he blamed me for the back pass, and it was the cup game. So then I went to a replay, and he was like, he wanted the game done and dusted there. I think he ended up going to. Was it 3 replays or something? Was that the same one?
Yeah.
So the thought of having a free weekend, I've got to go to London, all the way to London to play Palace in the cup game that we had at 1. So he blamed me after the match. Obviously, I don't think you said much after the game. You were just letting me take the rap for it. And he just punched me in the chest. Yeah. I don't think he said much. You did he? Did he?
No, nothing. I'm like, I got away with that one. He punched me as well.
Did he? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, he punched me at Villa away. We drew 1-1. I saved a penalty from David Platt, and obviously it wasn't a bad result. You're buzzing after the game, and at Villa Park the tunnel is down at the bottom corner. So I'm waiting for Nigel Spink to come down to shake hands as keepers do. I've shook hands with the referee as he's walking past me. Next minute, he grabs me and says, "You remember the stairs were like that?"
Yeah, Villa.
Get up them stairs. So I get in the dressing room and I'm like watching him like this. I'm like, what have I done? I haven't done anything wrong. Anyway, I goes and gets where I'm getting changed, and I'm taking my shirt, I'm taking my shirt off like that. And as I've got to about there, he's come for me. He's hung my shirt on the peg and started like digging me in the stomach. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? If I ever see you shake hands with a referee after a decision like that, son, I'll do more than punch you in the stomach. Like, is he mad, him, or what?
See, it was going on back then with the refs.
And like, Pierce had to jump in and like stop him. He was proper sending in at me, like.
Sending in at me.
No, but even at the end,
I didn't respect him for it, though.
Yeah, the few years I was there, people were saying he was finished back then. Brian Clough was finished. He's lost the plot. We got to 2 cup finals in 3 years. It would have been great if we won the cup. Obviously, you're doing your best now, but in the cup final. And yet everyone was saying Brian Clough was finished.
Yeah.
Yeah. Nearly.
What's your best Brian Clough story? So you're on the after dinner circuit now. What's the sort of stories that you would tell?
I think the one that goes down the best is what, and a lot of people don't believe it, is I made my debut against Liverpool through a little bit of luck, really, because first team goalie Steve Sutton had gone down with a virus. It was a night game, so he couldn't play. Hans Seegers was on loan at Wimbledon, and then we got a couple of more a little bit older than me that probably weren't good enough. And I was coming through with the reserves pretty well in that. So I played against Liverpool. The following Saturday we got Newcastle away, but Steve Sutton, the first team goalie, has now trained all week, so I thought I'm not going to play. Well, he kept me in. We won 1-0. Then the following Saturday he kept me in again. We beat Coventry in the FA Cup. After the game against Coventry, I didn't know, but it was time to take me out of the team then. Like, I'm 19, I've come in, I can do it. He's got his goalkeeper for the next 10 years or whatever. But because I was on such a high, as I'm leaving the dressing room, I just turned around and said to the lads, thank you for the best 10 days of my life that you've just given me. I can't believe actually what's just happened, but see you on Monday. And he goes, where do you think you're going? So he goes, I'm going home. Where's home? I said, I live in Barnsley. He said, my house tomorrow morning, 9 o'clock, bring your boots, and it would help if you bring your gloves as well. Long story short, his son, Simon Clough, was the manager of a team in the Derbyshire Sunday League, Division 5. And they haven't got a goalkeeper on this morning. So I've gone to his house, not knowing what's happening, with my boots and gloves, thinking, why am I here? What am I doing?
Yeah.
And his wife, Barbara, answers the door. She said, come on in, and Brian's upstairs, he'll be down. So Brian Clough comes in the kitchen in his house, and he said, thank you for agreeing to play for Simon's team this morning. They haven't got a goalkeeper, and I thought you'd do. So I ended up playing for his son's Sunday League team, Coventry the day before, playing as a ringer in his son's Sunday League team. I hardly ever touched the ball. It was just like bring you back down to earth type of thing.
Yeah.
Right.
And the team got fined, a record fine for playing a ringer, which was me. They got the points taken off them. They got fined 50 quid, and Cloughie took the 50 quid out of my wage.
No way.
He made me pay the fine.
That's because he
mad.
thought, obviously, you were getting carried away by saying, see you, lads.
Yeah.
Overstepping that level playing
Just
field.
brilliant how he's
like-
recognised that instantly.
Yeah, that's psychology.
Was he shouting at you during was he watching the game?
He was watching the game. He shouted over during the game. I'm not allowed to swear, am I?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
He used to call me shithouse all the time.
It's not really swearing.
Any reason
So
for
as the
that?
no, he just he used to call me imbecile. He used to call me Barnsley, which is where I was from. He used to call me Jigsaw. There's another story about that. I asked him why he started calling me Jigsaw, and his answer was, every time the ball comes in the box, you go to pieces. Like so. But at the game, the Sunday League game, he used to go and watch. He used to go and watch on a Sunday morning. He'd have his dog, and he'd be a couple of football pitches away. And he shouted during the game, "Shit house!" So I look over, and he stood like that. Unbelievable,
At least he
honestly.
went to the game, though.
Yeah, that's
do you know
true,
what I mean?
Joe,
Like
that's true.
he's
I love
done
the
that, but
support. I
then
love the
he's
stories.
there.
I
Yeah.
love the stories on him.
No, but if he felt the player was getting carried away with that, he done it to loads of players.
Yeah, he did, yeah.
Listen, he was hard with
Shit
me.
house.
Remember Locko, my buddy? Remember Locko played
yeah.
a couple of first, and Locko never played. He played 2 or 3 games in after. He said something in the training one time. He gave a ball to Piercy or Nigel. It was short, and he said, "Sorry, lads." And apparently he reckons Brian Clough, "What are you saying sorry for?" He said he was finished after that.
Oh, my
As if,
gosh.
like, you're in awe of these players or something. He said
Oh.
he finished after that. Never played again for the first.
Wow.
Just for saying sorry.
Saying like, "Sorry, I didn't give like Piercy
Yeah,
the
yeah,
perfect
yeah.
pass or Nigel or whoever it was." And he said, "What are you apologising for?" He says, "He never, just a player just not having the right maybe mindset or whatever it
Yeah.
might be, or getting carried away."
Would he be different with Stuart Pearce as the captain?
Yeah, 100%. Piercy could do what he wanted, couldn't he?
Yeah, to a certain extent.
Yeah,
Well, Piercy's
yeah,
got
of course.
stories as well.
Oh,
Yeah.
Well, the best one was Piercy. Remember, he said to us, but when he got called in for England, and Brian Clough called him. Like Piercy, I was a younger player, but Piercy had a lot of power. He's captain of England.
Yeah.
But he'd be still on his case.
Yeah.
Remember
Did Piercy got called up for England? The manager pulled him in. Piercy said this story before, and the manager said, "Do you think you're good enough, like for England?" And Piercy was like, "Piercy's obviously buzzing. He's got called up for England." And he says, "Yeah, I do, Gaffer." And he went, "I don't think you are. Now get out of my office." That was to Piercy. Piercy obviously tells it better than me. That was Stuart Pearce, just keeping everyone grounded. Don't be getting carried away with it.
There was a story with the iron as well, wasn't there? Where when Piercy played non-league, he was an electrician by trade, and he used to get an advert in the programme. Stuart Pearce, electrician, and the gaffer spotted it, like, hadn't he? So he's obviously thought about it, and one day he's walked in with a shopping bag, and the ball that I said that was on the towel, he's knocked the ball off and put the bag down and stepped back and said to Piercy about the electrician. What's all that about? On page 9, Stuart Pearce, electrician. If Barbara's light bulb goes out and she calls that number, you're not really coming, are you, to change it? No, my brother is. And then he walks over to the bag and he pulls out an iron and he said, "Barbara's iron's buggered." He says, "If you don't mend it, you ain't playing Saturday." And Piercy mended the iron and put it on his desk.
God.
So it's madness, honestly. Madness, but genius.
Yeah.
So your next job, you need to buy a cricket ball, an iron.
Well, that's a brilliant finish to
Yeah, thank you.
a great episode.
Mark,
and
so good to
great
see
to
you.
have you on.
So
And
good to see you.
unbelievable story. So thanks very much.
Nice one, Mark.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you. Thank you.
Well done.
Thanks, mate. Yeah.
Well done.
Nice one.
He never spoke about his career, saving penalties in cup finals.
I mean,
Oh, let's talk about that now.
Matt Le Tissier. Say one of Matt Le Tissier. You only one that saved Matt Le Tissier's penalty, wasn't
Yeah, he took 48. Yeah, and he missed.
only missed
he
one?
missed
Yeah.
one. Yeah.
Wow.
Lineker's in the final.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. It was weird because Matt actually sent me a picture because it was at the Dell, the old Dell, and it's an housing estate now. And Matt sent me a picture that end is now called Crossley Place, and I didn't believe it.
Wow.
So the end that he missed his penalty, they've named the estate after football players.
All right.
And that end is Crossley Place
That's brilliant.
because of the
The penalty.
penalty miss.
Only one from Matt.
Yeah, so I think there's only been 3 missed in a final in normal time penalties.
Best.
Best, myself and Petr Cech.
Better check, yeah.
Did you have some good nights out together?
Can you remember the Jersey ones were good, weren't they? You know, like
I was sent back from
mid-season.
that, remember.
I was sent
Was
back.
it you that put
I had a
the
fight with a hockey team or something.
The full team.
There's a few of them, yeah.
I'm sure it was you. Remember
was sent
when
back.
we went out for an Indian? Can you remember? And you said, "What's the hottest curry?" Was it you or was it Gary Parker? And he said, "Oh, it's a Tindaloo or something."
Tindaloo.
So the hotel where we were staying, the Grand Hotel, they had little dips on the side. And was it not you that emptied all the dips and put the Tindaloo in the things? So as business people were coming in and that, and they're dipping the midi cheddars and the dips. They're dipping it in this Tindaloo, and we're all sat there watching, like, so as they're putting it in the mouth, they're
I
like,
can't take credit for that. He sent me back from Jersey.
yeah.
There was an incident in the bar, yeah. I was obviously
Did not
minding
one
my
of the
own
other
business.
team has to get a...
Something signed, yeah.
Signed.
And someone threw a drink over me. Yeah.
Why? Because you wouldn't sign it?
No, because I'd already signed something from them, and I just said, how many do you need?
Oh.
And they threw a drink over me.
Then must-
What happened next?
I said, that's unacceptable. Peter." Yeah, I did. Well, he sent me back the next day. Yeah, he sent me back on a flight a few
Wow.
days early. So, the good days, huh?
Nice days, great
Something
days.
for
Right,
the
Howard.
future.
Nice one.
We're on.
Brilliant.
Nice one.
Brilliant.
Man.